Welcome to tonight's presentation of the Tagline, where we will be announcing that we are officially merging with Wingstop. So we will be known as the best movie news YouTube channel, also with the best ranch dressing in the world. Thank you. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Tagline. We are the Son of Fanatics. My name is Robert Adams.
And I'm hungry for Wingstop now.
I know. I just thought of that. I'm like, damn it, I want wings and their ranch dressing now. And
yeah,
I don't have that.
I'm Chris Adams, by the way.
I'm glad you managed to get that fixed. Yeah. Anyways, that sounds fantastic, talking about food and whatnot. So I would like to merge with Wingstop. That is something that I'm open to doing. So Wingstop, if you're watching, please let us know. You're probably not watching, so you'll probably
I think what you're thinking of is a sponsorship, not a merging.
Oh no, I want a merger. I don't want to be sponsored by them. That means like I get one free container of their ranch dressing. I want to merge. I want like their ranch dressing to be stored in my refrigerator.
He doesn't speak for both of us. We would like to continue maintaining control over our channel, so we'll take a sponsorship. And that sponsorship can be paid out in ranch dressing.
Oh, we'll still have control over our channel. We're just going to talk about movies. But every time we talk about movies, we have to talk about how they would pair with wings. So,
yes.
For example, the beginning of this, I would probably pair with like a nice, sweet Hawaiian wing that they serve there. That's what I would pair with the beginning of this, while I say, if you have any questions, comments, issues, streamlabs.com/cinefanatics is a good way to get our attention, to ask those questions, and to get your complaints in. There's also patreon.com/cinefanatics. If you have the means and you want to help us out, just hop on there, hop on the tier that's good for you. And yeah, coming up on Patreon this coming Monday, we have our movie trivia hangout at 7 Pacific, 10 Eastern. So that will be this coming Monday. Upcoming shows tonight after Tagline, I will be hopping over to a Fan's View, and we will be doing a Fan's View of film favorites. Tonight we will be watching Gremlins 2. No, Alan Rickman is not in it, but we did watch Gremlins 1, so it makes sense that we watch Gremlins 2.
He's there in spirit.
Yeah, essentially. So, yeah, that's going to be after the show tonight. It's going to be roughly around 8:35 Pacific, 11:35 Eastern. So, yeah, go ahead over there and watch that with us. It should be a lot of fun. Yeah, and right now you should be really enjoying those Hawaiian wings if you're actually eating those while watching this. I feel like that everything I've said so far would pair very well with that sweet kind of like Pacific Island flavors. I'm thinking pineapple. I don't know. Anyways, speaking of pineapple, the only other thing to quickly plug is this coming October 7th. It is a Friday. We will be doing the marquee. You're trying to figure that out. It is going to be Child's Play, kicking off October with our marquee Tears for Fears. We will be tier ranking all the Child's Play movies, not including the Chucky TV series, but just the 8 Child's Play movies. This does include the 2019 reboot, whatever that was, the MGM decided that they have the rights to do, and so they just made a movie and threw Chucky's name on it. We will be tier ranking that. It's going to be a lot of fun, so make sure you come join us. That is Friday, October 7th, 7:30 Pacific, 10:30 Eastern, right here.
Real quick.
Yeah. Yes, we are talking about a good pizza topping as well, because we over here are big fans of pineapple on pizza.
Absolutely.
It's really good. It's an experience. What is it?
Stuff.
What is it that he used to say, that he said on Stranger Things?
I don't know who you're talking about.
What's his name? Argyle.
Oh, yeah. Argyle talked about pineapple on pizza on Stranger Things. Yes.
You don't know who I'm talking about. I said pineapple on pizza, and I said Stranger Things. How many times has pineapple on pizza been talked about on Stranger Things? Who else could I be talking about?
At least 3 or 4 times within the same season.
Like, it's just, yeah. Anyways, personal stuff. So, as I said last week, personal stuff's kind of been pushed off to the side. So this is going to be real quick, a nice place for us to plug stuff. Try before you deny. That's it. Yeah. So real quick, nice place to plug stuff. If you're not checking out my brother over on Twitch, what is your Twitch channel again?
Twitch.tv/Chris Adams MLP. It's a nice place where there's no drama. There's no drama happening over at Twitch, or at least on my channel anyway, like there is on, good Lord, the rest of the whole damn website.
The whole Twitch nation.
Oh, God. If you don't know, don't look it up. Just move on.
Yeah. And for me, let me see if I can actually do this to see how well this works. I'm trying something on the fly here, which I'm willing to bet is not going to work the way I think it is.
Doing it on the fly.
Yep, that's what I do.
So anyways, guys, stuff.
Okay, whatever. I'm not going to make it clickable, but I do have my YouTube channel because, see, I was smart and I did my live stream channel on YouTube. So I'm avoiding all this Twitch BS, whatever's going on. So if you want to subscribe and follow my channel, there is a link down in the description at the very bottom of the description to this video. Go click that, go over there, hit subscribe, and you will probably see me very likely. I think I will probably do a live stream tomorrow night, in which we're going to talk about some of the bare bones basic fundamentals of YouTube, because I feel like some people need to know some things. So I'm going to put it out there.
I feel like he said that he was smart going to YouTube instead of doing Twitch, realizing not that I actually make money on Twitch, not YouTube. I can't make money on YouTube. He can't make money on YouTube either for another 950 subscribers.
It's not necessarily about the money.
Sure.
Garth is good at putting it in the chat. I don't know if it's clickable from there either, but
again, that's youtube.com/channel/UCJ.
I feel like there's like an okay or something at the end of that. I don't know exactly, but yeah, that's how I pronounce it. So get me to 100 subscribers so I can change that, because I hate saying that all the time. It's kind of like anti-disestablishmentarianism or whatever it is, that word that you put on Jackbox.
Which I'm able to type up easily on my own and never have to look it up. Just have to sound out the parts, guys. Anti-disestablishmentarianism. Which
that was some fancy finagling bullshitting right there.
The word by itself, Arianism, does not describe what you think it does.
That's great.
Or maybe it does. I actually don't know. Just a fun long word.
Anyways, yeah, so we'll be talking about personal stuff, like him on his Twitch, me on my YouTube. So if you want to know how we're personally doing, that's where you can find out. Otherwise, we're just going to talk about movies and make jokes of maybe somewhat a childish nature over here on this channel tonight. And thank you for being here.
Poo-poo.
I said somewhat of a childish nature, not straight into like poop jokes.
That qualifies as somewhat.
Yeah, okay. I don't know, Garth. I don't know YouTube. I don't know anything about it.
So make sure to listen to him when he talks about how YouTube works on his stream later.
On my YouTube stream. Yeah, well, I'll get that figured out somehow. But anyways. Movies that we have watched this past week. Have you watched any new movies?
Nah, I've been watching Community.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, still need to watch Clockwork Orange.
Oh, whoops. Next time it comes around in a marquee, I guess I might have to, but
we're gonna do like another Marvel marquee, and I'm just gonna throw Clockwork Orange in there, even though it has nothing to do with the MCU.
I was half expecting you to be like, we're gonna do the holiday marquee in December. We're covering Christmas movies, and oh, whoopsies! Look what just fell into the Christmas movie vat. It's Clockwork Orange.
I'm trying to remember if they do have Christmas at some point in that movie. I don't remember. I don't think so.
We should do a holiday movie marquee where it's literally all the movies that we combat being holiday movies.
Like, it's just a movie that just so happens to have like Christmas at some point in the movie, but it's not actually Christmas based.
These are movies that just feature Christmas.
Yeah,
here's Die Hard. Here's Lethal Weapon. Here's Iron Man 3.
I do want when we finally get the podcast up and running, I do want to tackle that like in December. I would like for that to be one of the podcast episodes, is let's actually flesh out exactly what makes a Christmas movie and have that discussion. Because I think that would be some good content, would be a lot of fun, and maybe I can throw some like logic behind it instead of what most people do is argue their emotions. Like, I feel like this is a Christmas movie, which is fine if you feel like. Anyways, off topic, way off topic. Moving on. We'll save that for the podcast episode. The only new movie I saw this past week was
one movie.
was one, yeah.
Whole year.
I'm running a movie YouTube channel. I'm only watching one new movie a year. It's gonna be a lot to talk about.
That could make for some highly anticipated content. All right, it's a movie YouTube channel, but I've only watched one movie. Tune in on this date, November something, 2022, to hear me talk about the one movie I watched this year.
I need to hurry up and talk about this before the holiday season kicks in, so I don't have to worry about my channel for the rest throughout the holidays, through Thanksgiving and Christmas. The only one new movie I saw this past week was Pearl, which was a prequel to X that came out earlier this year. So real quick, thoughts? It's pretty decent. It was a good movie. It was different than X. It was a way different than X. Completely different feel, different idea. But it did look gorgeous. I liked X more. I thought X had a better story, but I liked the look of Pearl. Pearl was very like oversaturated, kind of shot differently. I can't tell if it was like a different type of like film stock or something, but yeah, Garth's already in there with all of his top 10 Christmas movies.
All 10 of his movies are not Christmas movies.
And all of them really don't have anything to do with Christmas. They just happen to have Christmas. Yeah, okay. Well, Garth, thank you for that list, because we will probably use some of those as examples when we go to talk about that later on. That's great. But yeah, I thought Pearl was pretty good. If you're a fan of X, go watch Pearl, because you probably will like the fact that they're all connected. Of course, they announced that there's going to be a third one, Maxine, which was Mia Goth's character in X. So we're seeing how she is after surviving X. Spoilers, but whatever. If they didn't want it spoiled, they wouldn't have announced that movie. Anyways, that was pretty good. Let us, in record time, actually, now that we're not talking about personal stuff, let us get into some movie news.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. This is what's happening in your world tonight.
We apologize for the interruption.
Back to you.
So it sounds like he's trying to say the address for my YouTube channel. He's trying to tell the audience where they can.
YouTube.com/channel/
Anyways, how's the box office looking? What's number one in the box office? Is it Clerks 3 or is it Pearl?
Actually, you bring up a good question. I'm curious as to where Clerks 3 does land. And considering that I have it pulled up right here in front of me and I'm asking that question, means it's probably not number one.
Otherwise, this is going to be a really short break to figuring out what number one is.
I'll tell you, though, top 15. Good job, Clerks 3.
Oh, it wound up in the top 15. Is it number 15?
It's number 15, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, hey, good job. You made it to the top 17 and a half.
To be fair, it did beat Confess Fletch, which ended up at 20, and I didn't even realize that movie was coming out.
Yeah, I thought that movie still had like another year. I'll be honest with that one, though. I've only seen the first Fletch, which it was funny. It was good. Wasn't a showstopper, I think, but I'll watch the second one at some point, but
I haven't seen the first Fletch, so until I see the first Fletch, I don't necessarily care about Confess Fletch.
you saw a clip of it, the video that we did for the Smash-a-thon.
Yeah, I know.
Our little video that we did was a clip of him getting the rectal exam.
I'm just gonna say I've seen Community. Does that count? Chevy Chase is in that.
Yeah, but I think he's a lot less of an asshole in the Fletch movies.
Fair.
Or
all
at
right.
least maybe behind the scenes.
What do we think number 1 is? Actually, this is pretty good because there's
Top Gun Maverick.
There's about 4 new movies in the top 10 this week.
Oh, number 1 is that movie with Viola Davis.
Would you be talking about The Woman King?
Yes.
Yeah, that's number 1.
Okay.
The Woman King opened this week to the tune of $19 million, which is the highest I've seen for most openings the last month or so. So
yeah, not bad.
Nice. Number 2 is Barbarian, dropping from number 1 from last week. A little
still respectable.
6,500 million right there. Number 3 is Pearl.
Okay.
Made about 3 million. Number 4 is See How They Run, which also made another 3 million.
I had not heard of this movie. Nerd was talking about this movie the other night, and I had not heard of it. And I still haven't even watched the trailer for it yet, but apparently it's good.
Yeah. Number 5 is Bullet Train, which means we've gone through a top 5. And Top Gun Maverick isn't in it. Top Gun Maverick has officially fallen out of the top 5, guys. It's just at number 6. Don't worry, it didn't fall too far. It didn't fly away too far, guys. It's 17 weeks in, and 17 weeks in, it's at number 6. Good job, Top Gun Maverick. Still hanging in there.
Wasn't it like closer to the end of the top 10 and then it got boosted by like Labor Day and now it's just slowly falling back down?
I don't know. I don't think it's ever been in the end of the top 10. It might have been number 6 before, but it's barely been out of top 5 its entire run.
Interesting. I know.
And again, that's 17 weeks.
So at work, we got the notification, like we get the emails of stuff that like customers may call in about. One of the like side columns on this email is like, here's the movies that are coming out for digital rental. And that one is coming out for rental digitally. I don't know where it was. I could have sworn it was available digitally already. And I don't know where.
It might be available. It might be available to purchase digitally, but not to rent.
Yeah, so this one is like the official, like it's digitally available to rent.
Here's the thing. There's 52 weeks in a year, right? So half a year is 26 weeks.
Yes.
Mathing correctly. Top Gun Maverick's been in the theaters for 17 weeks, which means 3, 6, so 9 more weeks. 9 more weeks in the box office. It will have been in the box office for half a year.
So 2 more months.
So if it can hang out in the top 10 for 9 more weeks, it will have remained in the top 10 for an entire half a year.
Interesting.
Which is insane for a non-comic book, Star Wars. It is a blockbuster movie, but a non, what we traditionally see as a blockbuster movie nowadays. The big fancy IP sequel type thing. Even though it is a big... Never mind. Yeah, for it to be able to hang out for like another 9 weeks in the top 10, I wouldn't mind seeing it. That'd be kind of cool. Be a neat little thing to hang up on its accolades. Number 7 is DC League of Super Pets. Number 8 is The Invitation. That thing fell. It was been out for 4 weeks and it fell from number 5 to number 8. Number 9 is staying from number 9 from last week, which is Minions: The Rise of Gru. And then number 10 is the David Bowie biopic documentary. That's what I meant. Moon Age Daydream. So
interesting.
opened up to 1.2 million, which is pretty good for a doc coming in to make it into the top 10 like that.
Yeah,
people love that David Bowie. Let me tell you.
Yeah, he's got good music. So,
yes, sir.
Yeah. Anyways, so that is the top 10. What's coming out this week? We've got Don't Worry, Darling.
Don't Worry, Darling's this week.
And Avatar re-releases this week.
Yes. Which I imagine both of those will be on the top 10 next week.
I'm kind of curious as to where Avatar is going to land on the all-time highest grossing domestic list, because
it's not going to move from its current spot.
Where's it at right now?
Number 1.
It's number 1? I thought it was number like 2 or 3.
It had some re-releases in China that boosted it back up to number 1 again.
Oh, well, I meant like domestically.
It's still number 1.
Interesting. I thought it was beaten by like Endgame or...
I mean, I think it might be number 1 domestically. I think it flew back to number 1. I think it got re-released at some point domestically too. Okay. Endgame barely beat it, is what I'm saying. So like a very minor re-release would have put that movie back at number 1 again, which is sad to me. But hey, as people have argued, they're both Disney, so
Disney wins no matter what. Yeah, and they're gonna feed off of the fact that for some weird ass reason we all care about the box office numbers, even though none of us have a stake in this.
I care because of the good work that Marvel did to accomplish such a feat as to Infinity War and Endgame, and I loved the fact after 10 plus years that Endgame was the number 1 movie of all time, because I feel like they fought for it and they earned it.
Yeah.
And then Avatar came back and was like, nope, our spot still.
Why does it feel like in the middle of this real quick, does it look like my camera's like much further away from me than it typically is?
No, it's just your hair is shorter.
Just because I got a haircut today.
I tried to, but then the haircut place closed when I was ready to go get a haircut. So tomorrow.
We need to aggregate data. We must. That's great.
Something like that.
Anyways, what else do we got moving on?
Moving on, we've got something. It's
I just thought
pink. So here's your news on the Barbie watch real quick. Margot Robbie recently did an interview on The Tonight Show. I think it was like last night or the night before or something like that, where she was describing all those images that got released to the public of their outdoor shooting that they did. Her and Ryan Gosling dressed up in the fancy, crazy pink, neon, green, whatever nonsense outfits.
I thought she was talking of that.
She was talking to Jimmy Fallon, and she was describing how she was absolutely mortified to be out in public just like that. It was the most embarrassing thing of her career, of her life. And that gives me the feelings of sadness that she would be embarrassed by this coming movie, this movie Barbie. Of course, she later went on to describe how the entire filming process was actually a delightful experience and that she is super pumped for everybody to see this movie. It is currently in post-production, but just so you know, paparazzi out there broke her down for at least a little bit and long enough for her to describe it to Jimmy Fallon on The Tonight Show. Is that some good Barbie news? Is that good?
Maybe. Possibly.
I don't care! I need more images so that I can change that intro to be more than just Barbie and Ken.
So I'm trying to figure out like how to place that to have a personal connection with that. Of course, I mean, y'all typically see me. I wear a lot of black. I like black. I'm a dark and brooding type of character. Maybe if I had to like film like out in public, like say was like the Venice Beach Boardwalk or Santa Monica or something like that, wherever they were at filming.
Yep.
Maybe if I had to film a nude scene out there, that might be a little awkward because then everyone would see my gigantically huge, low-hanging belly button. But like then in the context of the movie, whatever the purpose of that, I would be perfectly okay with that because
no reason. I just wanted to end what you were saying.
Moving on, the next bit of news that we have to talk about is apparently it was announced that there was going to be finally, because we've all been begging for this, a sequel to Keanu Reeves' Constantine. Why?
Because.
Okay. Sounds good.
Because WB.
Oh, good Lord. They drop Batgirl and pick up a sequel to a movie that had mixed reviews at best.
Keanu Reeves.
Sure, and I understand that. Keanu Reeves is marketable. Everyone's like, hey, let's bring back another Keanu Reeves like IP. Like
Keanu Reeves.
Why can't someone do a sequel to Knock Knock? I mean, Eli Roth doesn't seem to be doing that much right now. Let's just do a sequel to that. Ana de Armas is popular. Bring her back.
That's the direction he went instead of completely getting rid of Speed 2 Cruise Control and just saying let's reboot and do a new Speed 2 instead.
That would be funny.
Which
Speed 2
I would be
with
down
added
for.
Keanu Reeves.
I would be down for Speed 2.
It'll be subtitled the new Speed 2 with less Jason Patrick and more Keanu Reeves.
We're not on a boat this time. We're back on a city bus.
Speed 2, the actual one that we should have made long time ago. Here's the thing, and that's the thing with and like what I'm saying about Constantine, I understand that there actually is like it's kind of turned into a cult movie. There is a fan following with it. I did not enjoy it. I just thought the whole thing was a little too ludicrous when I first saw it, but I also was not a fan of like the the comics and stuff. I didn't know anything about it before, but the issue that I see now is we're making a sequel to a movie that didn't perform very well back then, when since then we've gotten Matt Ryan playing the same character not only in a CW show, but then when they canceled his show and they wanted to bring Constantine and add him to the rest of the CW Arrowverse, they still brought in Matt Ryan. When they did the Justice League Dark cartoon, they brought in Matt Ryan to voice Constantine. So he has been a staple of that character for a while, and a lot of people absolutely love his portrayal, which just looking at it, again, I don't know the comics, just looking, I think he's the better looking Constantine, easily.
For me, cult following aside, if we just look at the movie Constantine in a bubble and not so much about the small pocket of people who do really love that movie, I'm fascinated by the WB deciding to do a sequel to that movie instead of a sequel to Man of Steel.
That too. Like, really, there's like so many other movies you could have made. Why? Well, and the thing is, like I say that there's not like a one or the other. They could still do a sequel to Man of Steel.
But it's the fact that we're seeing this happen before the Man of Steel sequel, which at this point I actually don't think we are getting, because I think they're going to reboot the entire DC universe. And given that fact, it makes sense that we could, try to speculate as much as possible, but we don't really know WB's plan, if there is one. And it's because that we don't necessarily trust WB's plan or whether there is one or not, that leads me to question their decision-making and why we're getting a Constantine sequel instead of a Man of Steel sequel right now. But hey, again, they're going to reboot everything. So why are we still getting a Constantine sequel if we're rebooting everything?
Yeah, I don't know.
Happy for the people who love it.
Speaking of studios that do questionable things, let's talk about Sony for a second.
Sony, WB, who's on the scale today?
Both of them, because we're going to talk about WB in a little while again also. Sony wants to do another reboot of Karate Kid. This has nothing to do with the previous Karate Kid franchise and nothing to do with Cobra Kai or anything to do with the Jaden Smith, Jackie Chan Karate Kid. So
what's it going to be about?
Apparently it's going to be a whole nother, like, rebooting a Karate Kid movie again, much like what they did, what they did with Jaden Smith and Jackie Chan, which that movie I thought was actually pretty good. I thought it was a pretty decent movie. But they want to do this again, and then I guess they want to develop more than just one movie. They want to continue with this franchise and build it out again. My guess is that because of the popularity of Cobra Kai, they want to revisit this franchise in a movie format as well, even though it will have nothing to do with the popularity of Cobra Kai. It's just name alone, kind of like the 2019 Child's Play that really had nothing to do with Child's Play. But
so I think what everyone's worried about here is one of two things. One, it's just a completely new reboot with the same characters. We're going back to like the original Karate Kid story and retelling it with the same characters, just new actors, and it's a reboot.
Is that what they said? It is still going to involve like Mr. Miyagi,
not confirmed.
Daniel LaRusso.
Not confirmed. What they were talking about is that they're going back to the roots of the franchise. They're doing a sequel or whatever off of the whatever.
Okay.
The other thing everyone's worried about is that they're just going to do their own storyline and completely ignore the TV show, which is everybody else's sequel to the movies. Like, this is canon. This is where the storyline of the movies went to. This is what we've been following. Instead, the studio's like, we're just going to go back to like the stories of the original movies and we're going to make a new one. What's it going to involve though? It's not going to involve the TV show? Then what characters are going to be in it?
I mean,
we're doing new characters, but if we're going back to the original stories, then how are we doing new characters?
Yeah, because
next Karate Kid,
you can't involve any of the original characters because they're all a part of Cobra Kai. And then of course you got Pat Morita, who passed away like decades ago.
Yeah.
So yeah, who's left? And if there is a character that's not a part of Cobra Kai to make, like Hilary Swank, just put her in Cobra Kai.
Yeah, I think that's what everyone's waiting for. Is they're waiting for Hilary Swank to show up with a guest or some kind of role in Cobra Kai, which makes sense to me. I'm kind of expecting that to happen too.
I'm not huge Karate Kid fans, but that would be awesome if she shows up in Cobra Kai. Yeah. Never watched Cobra Kai, but I would still be excited to find out that she's in Cobra Kai. That sounds awesome.
Just be a cool thing to happen. Yeah, I'm confused by this. I don't know what their plans are. It's kind of weird.
Anyways, upon announcing this, it was also announced that they're pushing back a couple of their movies that they already have on the slate, that being Kraven the Hunter, Madam Web, and Garfield. So those are all getting pushed back. I believe, I'm trying to remember what I read, if they were being pushed back in favor of this Karate Kid movie. But Sony has delayed Kraven.
That makes plenty of sense, considering it was like supposed to come out like at the beginning of next year, and like they just started filming it or something like that.
Yeah, like it should be done. I think it's in post-production now, so now they're just working on special effects. But like it's been, Kraven was set for January of 2023, but it's been delayed to October of 2023, so a whole 10 months there.
Yeah, they want to spend more time on it for post-production.
Which is the date that Madam Web was supposed to come out. Now Madam Web has been pushed from that October 2023 to February 2024.
Interesting.
And let me see.
Here's the thing about those two movies being pushed real quick is that given Morbius, there's not a whole lot of favor generated towards the Sony Spider-Man universe, sans Spider-Man movies already. There's already not like a whole lot of favor towards those. Mm-hmm. Now you're telling us these movies that you've already planned to come out, that there's not a whole huge audience that cares about these characters being in their own movies on their own. Now you're telling us that they're being pushed back, which means it's going to take even longer, which is going to kill even more momentum that those movies might have had, but now they don't. Like, you told me Madam Web is coming out next year, I would have been like, okay, fine, we'll watch it. Now it's coming out in 2024, and I'm like, I'm planning on owning a private island in 2024 and moving on with my life. I don't care.
That's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen. No, absolutely not.
Streamlabs.com/cinefanatics so we can fulfill our dream of living on a fantasy island in the middle
Please
of
go to my
nowhere.
Amazon wish list and someone purchase me a private island off of Amazon. I'm sure they have them.
I wonder if you get Prime delivery on that. Can you deliver an island within a day?
I don't know if our office would like that.
Yeah, that might be kind of hard for the apartment office to bring that up. Although it probably will be delivered by an Amazon worker themselves since they have their own delivery service, which means that while we're getting that island delivered, we're just going to be inundated with a gigantic van that has an advertisement for Rings of Power on the side of it. Still not watching it. Not a big Lord of the Rings fan. That was a long way to go for that joke.
That was a long way to go just to say that you don't want to watch Rings of Power for absolutely no reason.
That was a long joke. Thank y'all for taking that journey with me. It was much like the journey that they took to drop the ring in Mordor. Anyways.
Can we drop you in Mordor?
Moving on. Yeah, like I don't know how much people actually care about these movies. Craven is one of the more popular Spider-Man villains, sure. Doesn't need his own movie. Madam Web, unless they've done something recently with Madam Web in a cartoon, no one knows who Madam Web is unless you read the comics or you watched the 90s Spider-Man cartoon. Other than that, Madam Web is not a major character or major presence in anything. So why make a movie about her?
I like the idea of Madam Web existing in the multiversal reality that Tom Holland's Spider-Man currently exists in. And she shows up maybe in where we're at 3 movies in, 4, maybe in the 5th movie, and she plays a part in the 5th and 6th movie for him.
Yeah.
Like that, I'd be okay with that. And like, she doesn't have to be like a pivotal point. She can just be a character that exists in his world now. But
that would make sense, actually. So the reason I would say that makes sense is if you know the 90s Spider-Man cartoon, towards the end of its run, they actually did for at least like 3 or 4 seasons, there was a subplot where Madam Web was trying to test Spider-Man. Yeah. To get him used to certain circumstances or certain ideas or whatever, because at the end of the series, she was going to make Spider-Man the leader of a group of heroes for the Secret Wars. They did a version of the Secret Wars in the Spider-Man animated cartoon. And so Madam Web was one of the major characters there. If they were to do that with what's now been announced, this Marvel's Avengers Secret Wars, they could possibly bring in Madam Web that way and tie her to it, much like in the cartoon where they had her tied with the Beyonder and then bring in the Beyonder through Madam Web.
That would mean that there would need to be the 4th Spider-Man movie happening in Phase 6 before Secret Wars, and that one would need to involve Madam Web. But now Sony's got this Madam Web coming up, and these movies these characters kind of can flip-flop between universes. Is that the same Madam Web in the Sony movie that we would see pop up in the Marvel Sony movie? Yeah. I don't know. I just think that Marvel needs to acquire all of the Spider-Man property back from Sony and just do it all themselves.
The only reason I don't think that that's really a strong possibility is I feel like other than whatever stuff is specifically going to be about Kang in the upcoming movies, I think we're pretty much done with a lot of like other characters playing around with the multiverse. Like, I don't think we're going to we're not necessarily going to see Doctor Strange really doing anything with the multiverse anymore, other than what is directly connected to Kang.
I was going to say, keep in mind, this saga is the multiverse saga. So I do believe, got Fantastic Four coming up. We got,
but
a bunch of
that
stuff
will
coming
all
up.
be directly connected to Kang. I'm talking about outside of Kang, like the Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, or No Way Home. Both both dealt with a multiverse without having to deal with Kang.
In Multiverse of Madness, what is the character that instigated the multiverse stuff? America Chavez. She still exists as her own character by herself. She can do multiverse stuff because that's her power set.
Oh,
she can do that sans any involvement with Kang.
I guarantee Kang is probably coming for her in a future movie.
Oh, probably.
Yeah. And they probably introduce her as she'll be someone who will be on top of her powers, and she'll probably be the one who like saves the whole universe at the end of this multiverse saga in the Kang Dynasty Avengers movie. Just calling it now. They did that with X-Men Evolution, where they introduced that character Leech right before we brought in the super powerful Apocalypse, and we're like, oh, I guess we're going to bring that Leech kid in that's going to leech the powers from Apocalypse and defeat him. Oh, that's what they did.
Yeah.
Like you saw that one coming a mile away because of how they organized it. But
all right, nerd. We'll see what happens with these two Sony movies. Garfield, on the other hand, gets delayed. Are they just trying to
be made?
Are they just trying to keep it further away from the Mario movie?
Probably.
Because they both feature Chris Pratt doing the voice of the main character.
Isn't the Mario movie Sony also?
Mario is Illumination, so is that Sony?
No, because Sony Pictures has their own.
Yeah.
So
it's the same. It's the same company that does Minions and Despicable Me and all that.
I think Illumination is like DreamWorks.
Yeah. So no. I wouldn't be surprised if I think that might be Paramount that's just putting that distributing. There's the word. But yeah, I could see them pushing Garfield just to keep those two movies away from each other, because at the end of the day, are we dealing with a Mario and a Garfield that have the same voice, and that voice is Chris Pratt? Because, oh boy.
I mean, that's like Garfield having the same voice as Peter Venkman.
That made more sense, though, because Bill Murray had a voice that was more akin to, was it Lorenzo Music? Is that his name?
Well, so the funny thing was that is in the live action, Bill Murray was Peter Venkman. In the cartoon, Lorenzo Music was Garfield. In the cartoon of Ghostbusters, Lorenzo Music was Peter Venkman, and in live action, Bill Murray was the voice of Garfield. So
that's why it worked.
Kind of crisscrossed. So
I really do think that Bill Murray was the best possible choice for the Garfield voice in those movies, despite the fact that those movies were terrible.
I feel like they could have gotten someone who could do a better imitation of Lorenzo. Lorenzo Music's voice is iconic for Garfield. That's not someone you just bring in like some other like popular name actor. Like, hey, guess what? You're Garfield. Like, if they bring in Chris Pratt, I would love. I doubt we're going to get this because you don't hire Chris Pratt and not get Chris Pratt's voice. But I would love to hear if he's able to somehow do a Lorenzo Music sounding voice. That's what they should have done. But
got it.
I make way too much sense sometimes. So, and they want to make a movie and they want to make money, and
you make so much sense that you full circle back to not making any sense.
I know that's how much sense I can make sometimes. It's astounding. Anyways,
dang, you unique individual, you.
Sure, thank you. Writing for Fantastic Four has begun. Not really a segue. I don't care. Just moving on to the next subject here. I could have sworn this is what's weird. I like about this. I could have sworn they would have already had a story done. Like, we've had this Fantastic Four logo that Marvel's been showing off for a while.
Yeah.
And we haven't had a story yet. We've already been talking about casting, and sure, it's probably safe to assume that we can just go ahead and cast the Fantastic Four and Doctor Doom, and roughly at least those 5 characters we could go ahead and cast. We know they're going to be in this movie. But I feel like a part of that casting, the reason, like, you need to have the script written, you need to have that story done so you know who you're casting. we're only just now starting to write the script for the Fantastic Four.
Which explains why we haven't seen casting announcements yet.
Or the script's already written and they're only now saying that the script is being written. I'm wondering if they already have a story in place for this.
The thing with that is that I'm pretty sure Kevin Feige knows. Kevin Feige always knows the direction of the MCU. He's got this whole thing mapped out. There is a set map all the way through at least Phase 6 right now. Done, completed. Involving King and everything that King is going to be doing. He's going to play a role in the Fantastic Four movie for sure. There's going to be some kind of connective tissue to the Fantastic Four. That's going to be a pivotal movie since I believe it kicks off Phase 6. That's going to be a pivotal movie. So they have some semblance of an idea of what that storyline is going to be already. If it's not detailed out in a script form, screenplay form yet, then they at least have the bare bones, like this is the direction the story is going to go. And they've already been able to present that to actors and everything and been able to talk about it in their board meetings and story planning groups and whatnot. So I'm not surprised that they haven't completely written it out yet, but I'm also not worried about the fact that they're just now starting it too, because I trust Kevin Feige. He has yet to give me a reason not to. And we're 15 plus years, going on 15 years into this thing. So
damn near, yeah. So I still think it's going to be good. I'm eager for it, but the one last piece of anything having to deal with Marvel here, let's talk about Lego. And as much as fun as that might be to talk about the brilliant person that is in our chat following us and chatting during this, I'm actually talking about the toys. Yeah, that happens, Lego.
That's the comment I chose to highlight.
Let's talk about Lego. Lego, I need you to stop spoiling movies because Lego is out here spoiling who might possibly be playing Black Panther in the Black Panther movie coming out.
Why would you do that, Lego?
Damn it, Lego.
Lego, dang it.
Everyone in this community loves you, and then you go and do that. You were just... Anyways.
You're asking for trouble, Missy.
There is, and this has happened before. This has happened multiple times. It's usually either Lego or Funko. We don't have anyone named Funko like in our chat, do we? I mean, I'm not like calling out two people here. No? Cool. It's usually either Lego or Funko that's ruining it. Like Funko ruined Giant Man for Civil War by releasing an image that showed a giant Ant-Man. This one is some kind of a play set that involves, and I'm not going to spoil anything, but it involves people from the movie fighting other people from the movie. See? Spoiler free. That's how you do it. But apparently, if you see the front cover of it, it's not so bad, but on the back cover, it kind of just blatantly reveals who is the Black Panther in this movie. My full government name is Funko Lego. It's great. Stop spoiling movies, Funko Lego.
I'm gonna start calling her Funko now.
I know.
Congrats.
We're gonna go over and do a fans view of film favorites tonight, and I'm just gonna start calling her Funko.
Congrats. You just set yourself up for failure. You're now gonna be called Funko from now on.
Anyways, like, oh, I don't know, like, what are you supposed to feel and do about this? Because you can't stop this. Marketing dictates these things have to be released early.
You have to be like me and don't look at the Lego sets. I don't look at them. I have no idea who Black Panther is since they wanted to spoil that basically on the Lego set. I have no idea who it is. I haven't seen the Lego set and it hasn't popped up on my timeline on Twitter. So
what he's saying is, please, everyone tag him in all the Lego sets.
Absolutely not. I would rather who Black Panther is be revealed to me when Marvel decides. And that might be the next trailer. So,
and not when Lego decides.
It's true though. It might be revealed in the next trailer. So
I feel like it needs to be revealed. I don't think you're going to be able to make a movie about Black Panther without saying who Black Panther is.
Although that's a unique idea. Let's create a superhero movie where the audience themselves doesn't even know who the superhero is going into it. That's a clever idea.
I mean, sure. I mean, the exception, of course, this is kind of spoiled by this Lego set. So now there are people who have seen it and know, and they're more likely to talk to other people who are going to talk to other people. Now it's pretty much public. It's going to get out there for the most part, just depending on what circles. We happen to be a part of a circle, a group, a community, mostly people who are going to keep that to themselves. They're not likely to blab who they saw on the back of that box.
We love our respectful people here.
Yeah. But yeah,
except for that Funko. That Funko, man, she's crazy.
Yeah. Funko is a little bit harder because in some ways, the way Funko has done it, like Lego, you really have to like look at the back of the box and zoom in and see like little image and stuff. Funko, it's usually right there out in the open. You have like big ass box. There's Kevin Smith. Is Kevin Smith in this box? Yes, Kevin Smith is in this box. Like it's kind of, or a toy of Kevin Smith, not the actual Kevin Smith. That would be weird.
Damn it, Garth.
Chris Pratt is the new Black Panther. Oh, yeah. That'll go over real well.
Isn't that kind of a reverse from the What If episode?
Kind of. We got Star-Lord is actually Black Panther. Okay. Oh, yeah. No. People will riot with that one. That is not good.
Nope.
John dies at the end. Sorry, contractual obligations. Damn it. I didn't want to know who dies at the end of that movie called John Dies at the End.
His name's Bob.
He's your uncle. Bob's your uncle. Yeah. Anyway, so I feel like, yeah, the fact that this is out there just as a public service announcement, keep this in mind if you see like any kind of Lego sets for Black Panther Wakanda Forever coming out. Quickly shield your eyes because it will pretty much reveal who's Black Panther.
Note, I will make sure not to go down the aisle that features the Legos at our local grocery store.
I mean, possibly. I don't know how quickly they come out in the grocery stores. They may not actually be out until the movie comes out. Probably. But well, no, I think like some of the images I saw are of it sitting on a shelf at a store. So it may actually be out already.
Yeah, Walmart. Walmart might have it.
Yeah. Who goes to Walmart?
They want to get this stuff out as early as possible for people who like to start their Christmas shopping way early.
Yeah. Before Halloween's even started.
September.
Yeah. I went to a grocery store the other day, that Randall's. They had Christmas stuff out. Like in their store, I was like, "This is weird."
How? Where are you putting it? Wouldn't that currently be taking up the spot that the Halloween stuff would currently be in?
Yeah, you would think.
Whatever.
Yeah. Anyways, let's move on to the main topic. This Comcast Universal is looking to acquire Warner Brothers.
They're eyeing it.
So apparently, there's not really any full news about this just because this is still primarily a rumor that started this past week, and there's not like a whole lot of talk about it. It's just Comcast may be looking at seeing if they're in a position where they could purchase Warner Brothers Discovery. I don't know.
Absolutely insane just thinking about it, honestly.
I mean, the deal between Warner Brothers and Discovery just recently ended. Like, just officially went through, Discovery coming through, Zaslav coming throughout and cleaning house and whatnot. So now we're going to have Comcast potentially buying it. Here's the one benefit, and the joke that you and I have already like realized on this. Again, I'm going to reference Dead Meat, the YouTube channel. They have a good channel. Go watch them if you like horror movies. Again, he's been dealing with copyright issues on YouTube due to Universal's owned the Child's Play movies. He's been doing kill counts for Child's Play lately, and they're all getting copyright struck by Universal. YouTubers who run movie content we have two studios that we notoriously do not like: Universal and Warner Brothers, both of which, if you are doing a trailer reaction, that's going to get a copyright
immediately
hit. Yeah, almost immediately. So Disney doesn't do that.
Disney doesn't care.
Fox doesn't do that. I think Fox used to, but now that Disney owns Fox, very likely not going to do that.
I don't even think Paramount does it.
I've seen Paramount's done it a couple of times, depending on what it is, and I think it's depending on what it is and how many views it's getting. If you put out a reaction to a trailer or something, and it's getting like thousands upon thousands of views, they'll probably copyright claim that so they can make all that money instead of you. But depending on, like, for us, for the most part with us, we're still a small YouTube channel. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Again, this will be something I will probably talk about in depth even more on my stream tomorrow night. Nice plug there. But yeah, when you're a small YouTube channel, I think we got how many views did we get on that Black Panther trailer, the last one that just came out? Over 1,000.
Yeah, I think it was a couple thousand.
we will probably make our channel here. We will probably make $3 off of that, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, not much. And the way YouTube works through Google's payout is they won't pay you until you've got like $100 sitting in that account. It only pays out. It'll push a payment out to you once there's $100. So that's why, for example, you don't see a lot of people doing super chats on YouTube anymore. YouTube takes 33% and then it sits in a Google account until eventually, hopefully, maybe you have $100 and then it'll push it out to you. But it's $100 after YouTube has taken like their 33%. So it takes a while. That's why most people are pushing streamlabs.com/cinefanatics if you would like to donate money and have it go directly to us with a bare minimal payout to Streamlabs themselves. That's a good way to do it. And that's why you see people pimping Streamlabs all over the place. I don't know if pimping is the right term, but whatever. Hyping up, going towards Streamlabs. So yeah, it's nice that these two major companies that are known for copywriting YouTube channels are merging. So we only have to deal with one channel now.
Could be merging. It's a rumor. It's not confirmed yet.
Yeah. One studio, not one channel. But yeah, stuff like that, that's going to be that for YouTubers, that might be a little bit helpful. You have more wide open content that you can make.
The thing is,
having everything get claimed.
The thing to keep in mind, though, is it still would be producing the same amount of movies. It's two studios just as one studio. So it's still the same amount of content that's being copyrighted. So,
so to use Dead Meat as an example again, he said he wants to do a kill count of Malignant. Malignant is owned by Warner Brothers. Apparently, Zaslav has gone on record saying any YouTube video that's using more than like 5 seconds of footage is going to get a copyright hit, and they're going to take all the monetization for that video. A channel like Dead Meat, they make money directly off of that monetization. It's either the monetization for that video being out and available for people to watch and ads play and whatnot, or they get a sponsorship on that video. A lot of times they'll get some videos where they might show it might be a little bit gorier, and so YouTube might have issues and not be able to monetize that video, so they get a sponsor for that. So they don't have to worry. The staff, because they actually have a staff, their staff still gets paid for the work that they're doing. They're not doing this work for free. Again, for us, for this channel, it's just the two of us. We don't care. I have a full-time job that actually pays my bills. I'm not expecting Cinefanatics to cover anything right now. So therefore, I'm not worried about copyrights and stuff like that. In the future, I definitely will be, and I am keeping it in mind. As this channel grows, that will be something eventually we will have to deal with. But
our situation is, even if we did care about that stuff, we're not getting enough views on our videos anyway for it to matter regardless. So
that's why I don't care.
Yeah. I would say that all that aside, there's a lot going on with this being a potential merger that's happening. First of all, Universal as a company being able to come in essentially and take control over WB and Discovery and be like, all right, here's how we're actually going to do things. Where's that Batgirl movie? Let's put it out. Could you imagine? Can we imagine for a second that another studio, another company like Comcast can swoop in and do that? Now, here's the thing about Comcast Universal.
I just thought of something.
Here's the thing about Comcast Universal. WB is WB still partnered with, say, Spectrum as I guess it used to be what was it? Time Warner. Time Warner used to be the internet.
Yeah. So those
AT&T then took over and made Spectrum or something like that.
So the way I'll explain that real quick, I see where you're going with it. It is very similar to, we had that movie studio, 20th Century Fox, but then you also had the Fox TV station. They're both Fox, but they are two separate divisions. So, for example, I know you're talking about like Comcast is a major cable company. Spectrum is also a major cable company that has acquired Time Warner Cable. So, there is a light link still, I believe, between Spectrum and Warner Brothers, because I know there was like a huge push for, I guess, like Spectrum to push HBO Max, something like that. I can't remember the exact details of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, because of the connections of these light connections. So where are you thinking in terms of Comcast?
That would be a monopoly. That would be a situation like Disney purchasing Fox, where they would have to keep that completely separate and out of the deal, because Comcast can't be part of the ownership. When it comes to that stuff, it needs to be like the movie studio only, essentially. Comcast cannot be part ownership of the AT&T owned Spectrum service, essentially, because that's all your big cable internet companies, boom, as one. It can't happen.
Like 5 separate cable companies all in one sentence.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. That's why you can't do it, because it would all be under one roof, and that would
I don't think that
antitrust laws.
Yeah, I don't think if Comcast was to buy WB, I don't think it would have any effect on Comcast's relationship with Spectrum.
Yeah,
I think
it would have to.
Those will still stay as two completely separate cable companies.
Yeah, it would have to. It would have to. It would literally have to just be, movie studio buyouts, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Which even that has its own issues.
Which again is kind of, again, going back to what I was saying, like you had 20th Century Fox and then Fox, the TV channel. Obviously, Disney is affiliated with ABC and has like a majority stake in Hulu. So those can all still stay separate, while the Fox television station has nothing to actually do with 20th Century Fox or now Disney.
But we're also looking at the Universal or the WB catalog of characters, which currently includes DC, Looney Tunes, a lot of big popular characters being folded in under NBC Universal Comcast podcast. All those being together. Then you're looking at, okay, what does that mean? Are we still strictly talking about deals that only operate within the movie studio form? Because even in that, there's still pieces that affect other things like theme parks. Right now, you've got the Six Flags company, who, the company that runs Six Flags, essentially has the
Warner
theme
Brothers.
park hold over Looney Tunes characters, DC characters, and all that. But now you're looking at Universal Studios, who's made, connections and deals with Marvel in the past, which now Marvel, of course, is over with Disney. Universal Studios now being able to say, okay, let's bring in some DC superheroes and Looney Tunes and stuff to our theme parks. is that part of the deal? Or again, are we still strictly talking about movie studios and those things can't show up in theme parks? Because the theme park is the movie studio. So I still think it's a one-to-one thing. There's a whole lot on that end that's actually fascinating from the business structure side of it. But I will say, if we could point the conversation this direction a little bit, this is not the best thing for people who make movies. This is the same conversation that people had when Disney was acquiring Fox, which is we're glad for you that you get your Fantastic Four and your X-Men and your MCU finally. At what cost, though? Because when you have 18 movie studios out here, and anyone who wants to shop their movie around can go to all 18 as potential individuals to buy and release their movie.
You have competition.
Now those 18 studios are down to 6. They've all bought each other out, and now there's only 6 major studios that you can go shop your movie to. And if within those 18, those 6 individuals who already prior existed rejected your movie, now you've got those 6 studios that are all 6 going to reject your movie, when there could have been at any given point 12 other studios who would have said yes to your movie. This is not the best thing for creators, for individuals who are trying to create and make movies. It does hurt the industry when a bunch of studios start merging together. It's what worried people during Disney and Fox's thing. On top of that being redundancy of job positions within the studios themselves and people getting fired or let go. So that's the side of it that, would concern a lot of people when it comes to these big studios buying each other out.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, because you're going to lose that leverage that they have to help produce. 6 studios said no. What else are you going to do? Produce it yourself? Good luck. You're not Kevin Smith.
That being said,
this is Kevin Smith.
Right. That being said, I do feel like I would trust Universal with the DC universe more than WB at this point. So
I don't know. So we were making this joke earlier about about Universal would pump out Batgirl. Well, let's keep in mind Universal is also the one in charge of the last 2. Well, I mean, the whole series actually, but I'll point out the last 2 Jurassic World movies. Universal has no problem pumping out terrible movies. So
they resuscitated Fast and Furious. Granted, that franchise does need to end here pretty soon as well, but
yeah,
they know what to do. They know how to run a long franchise. Now it's whether or not they can hands off as much as Disney hands off Marvel Studios. That's the key that these studios need to learn.
So, and I'll give you an example of that as well. I'm always going to talk about horror in some form or fashion. Child's Play.
Horror movies.
Yeah. Thank you. The Child's Play franchise primarily is owned by Universal. Universal has let Don Mancini, who was the creator of Chucky and everything from the very beginning, wake up. Universal's let Don Mancini do whatever he wants, pretty much. They've been, from how it seems, completely hands off. And Don Mancini has treated it as his family. The people that work on those Child's Play movies, Brad Dourif, Jennifer Tilly, they love working on those movies. They keep coming back. They're one gigantic family. The issue, what happened with the 2019 Child's Play is MGM was the producer and distributor of the first Child's Play movie back in 1988. And so therefore they still had rights over that. They didn't want to produce a sequel, so they allowed Mancini and I forgot the business partner of them at the time, Kirshner or something like that. They allowed them to take it over to Universal. So Universal's the one that kept pumping out Chucky movies over the past 15 years or so.
Yeah.
15, 20 years. And MGM still had rights to the first Child's Play movie. So they decided we're going to make another Child's Play movie. They made a movie about like an AI, since we all have like AI smartphones and smart devices all over the place. They made a story about that taking over. And then they just tied it into it's being connected by this doll that they just called Chucky and made him kind of look similar to Chucky. And they called it Child's Play. That entire movie could fully exist without any connections to Child's Play or Chucky at all whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
It was a malfunctioned AI doll controlling smart devices instead of what Child's Play was a serial killer whose spirit is possessing a kid's doll.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, Universal seems like they are good with how they treat passion projects and creators who are passionate about stuff like this.
Yeah.
So hopefully that would be a good sell, and that could help really reinvigorate the DC Comics universe.
I'll bring up one other aspect of this that is actually a positive, that would actually be a big positive for consumers. And that would be the merging of HBO Max and Peacock, because that would happen if those two, if Comcast Universal bought out WB Discovery, that would happen. The HBO Max Peacock services would probably be merged. Now, granted, they would raise the price.
Or Disney, or they'll do like what Disney does with Hulu, where you could just bundle the two of them together and you get the HBO Max Peacock bundle.
Potentially. I mean, it's true. They might turn around and keep them.
We'll call it the Max Cock bundle.
Stop. They might turn around and keep them separate just to net as many different customers as possible. Diversify your income, essentially.
And not call it what I just said.
And that too. Or PMax, that would be a thing too.
The PMax.
What did we talk about? This stream would have slight childish humor. Yeah,
there you go.
There it is. I could see them merging them though, and being under one thing. Just because I think what you would be looking at, you'd be looking at the customer base for HBO Max and the customer base for Peacock. I think right now HBO Max's customer base is way larger than Peacock.
HBO Max is still one of the top streaming services, if not possibly even topping Netflix at this point. Although I don't know, Disney Plus is high. I would say it's between Disney Plus and HBO. I would think Netflix is like third.
This is a situation where I think they would look at the numbers on the two services and dictate from there, okay, we don't have that large of a base for Peacock, so we might as well just fold it into HBO Max and just retain those individuals over on the HBO Max side. We'll just pump up the cost of HBO Max a little bit just to qualify, hey, we're folding in a lot more content into this service, so we're going to need to raise you by like $3 a month or something. We're going to lose out a little bit on the Peacock subscriptions, but if we're going to raise everybody who already has HBO Max up another $3, we'll more than make up for it in the long run. So
the problem that you're going to have is kind of like what Jeremy's saying here. You prefer the bundle in one place as having to pay for another service. Mm-hmm. What's going to happen is that's going to cause problems for streaming services like Netflix and Amazon Prime, which are now starting to develop their own content. And the reason they're doing that is because they're going to lose access to all the other content. When HBO Max popped up, was it all the Harry Potter movies or whatever were on Netflix at the time? Those got sucked back up. When Peacock came out, all the Office episodes immediately left. Well, not immediately, but it was foretold in the scriptures that they were going to leave Netflix and go over to Peacock exclusively. So that's what's going to happen is if you got Comcast Universal acquires Warner Brothers, you've now got HBO Max and Peacock, whether they stay separate or they stay the same, but anything related to those are definitely getting sucked back in. In which case, you may still have some of their stuff may linger over Netflix, Amazon. But yeah, it's going to cause a lot more issues if you need to get different services. Like, who has the Spider-Man movies right now through Sony? Is this just Stars?
Sony, I think they're kind of all over the place. A couple of them are on Stars. I know that also it depends on whether you're talking domestically or also overseas, because Hotstar, I think, has Into the Spider-Verse. I don't know if Disney Plus has Into the Spider-Verse domestically.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either, or if it's on its way or something. I know that at some point Disney Plus has it worked out with Sony to acquire probably all the Spider-Man movies. Like they're going to be the sole location to stream any Spider-Man movies, all that stuff. So that's probably not for like another 2 years though, from what I heard. So we'll see.
Interesting.
They kind of just end up wherever they flow. I think the Spider-Man stuff literally just gets shopped around and gets renewed contracts with different streaming services at any given point.
So the funny thing to kind of end this on is, of course, there was a new trailer for this Hellraiser remake, reboot, whatever, coming out on Hulu in a couple of weeks. This is like Hulu's partially owned by Disney, and the Hellraiser rights are also owned by Disney. And so with the Pinhead in this Hellraiser movie is being played by, I believe her name is Jamie Clayton. Does this make her a Disney princess?
Absolutely not. Nope.
I'm pretty sure that people are like, I would say someone like Lego would probably beg to differ with you.
No.
So, anyways, I thought that was like a funny piece of like information that I saw on the internet the past couple of days.
If we really want to break it down, I don't even think Princess Leia counts as a Disney princess, even though Star Wars is owned by Disney now. So
that might be an extremely hot take there. I can understand, like, in joking that this Lady Pinhead she's not a Disney princess, but yeah, there are people that will swear. I do not disagree. She is not a Disney princess. There's people that will attest to Leia being a Disney princess now.
Disney princesses are not live action characters. Not that I've seen anyway. You know, they got to start in animated.
Cartoon.
They got to start in animated.
Yeah.
But I mean, Disney princesses are princesses made by Disney Animation, or in certain cases, Pixar Animation.
Naru from Prey is a Disney princess at this point. Yeah, there's that too.
Nope.
I think we're all just like stretching, and we're trying to figure out like weird ways to make like this like highly adult rated content. Oh, it's a Disney princess. Like, I don't know why.
This, I agree, being the only potential exception to the all Disney princesses are only animated, because let's be honest, she was animated in the movie at one point too. So.
And Lego, the chick from Enchanted, would be our sister. So thank you.
Wait, hold on. Yeah. Put some respect on our family name.
That would be our sister, Amy.
Who, again, we're deeply proud of, but she wants nothing to do with us for some weird-ass reason.
She won't ever talk to us. Although, I'll be honest, I haven't tried reaching out to her. She's like super busy all the time.
It's true.
And she probably also doesn't like the fact that I publicly said I really don't have any interest in her new movie. But I mean, I'll support her. Good luck to her. But just, I'm disenchanted by Disenchanted. Anyways, I think we're going to go ahead and call it a night here. So let's go ahead and wrap this up real quick. Again, if y'all want to follow me after we're done with this at about 8:35, 11:35 Eastern, I will head over to a fan's view. We are watching Gremlins 2, so join us over there. This coming October 7th. I like how I say it that way. This coming October 7th, not the other October 7th, but this coming one.
Not the one after or the one before. This one.
You can join us for the marquee kicking off horror. We are bringing back Tears for Fears, and we will be tier ranking the Child's Play movies again.
And to be clear, when he says us and we, I'm not included in that.
Yeah, because he's not going to watch Child's Play. I'm surprised I got him to watch The Thing.
Absolutely not. I'm not going to watch it. Are you kidding me?
Although you probably could watch the first Child's Play movie, especially since now you've seen The Thing. If you could watch The Thing, you could watch it anyways. That is going to be coming October 7th, so come join us for that, 7:30 Pacific, 10:30 Eastern. And
as a note, you're missing me, but we are going to have some fun guests in my stead, so you are going to want to tune in for that.
Yes. And then this coming Monday, if you are on the Patreon, patreon.com/cinefanatics, join us for our movie trivia hangout. That is this coming Monday, the 26th at 7 Pacific, 10 Eastern. Join us in our Discord. A lot of fun there. So anyways, I think that's it for plugs or stuff upcoming. Actual plugs, make sure you follow us. Yeah.
I just enjoy my pumpkin spice latte and enjoy watching the leaves fall.
Yeah. The rest of us were like, ooh, what movie do I watch next? I can only watch a scary movie right now. No. It's not what I do.
Apple cider and comfy sweaters, even though I don't wear those in October because it's still hot as a mess.
It's still like 90-something degrees.
Yeah.
Did you see like the news report said the first official day of fall for us here in Austin, Texas is still forecasted to be a triple-digit temperature?
In December? Sure.
No, the first day of fall.
I know. My first day of fall is technically going to be in December at this point.
Yeah. In which case it only gets down to like 80-something. Just, ugh. Anyways, make sure you follow us at Cinefanatics MLP on Twitter and Instagram. As for this video, make sure you hit like, hit subscribe, do all those YouTube things, because that's what the overlord of the algorithm wants you to do. Again, I will explain what all of that means tomorrow night.
Our Lord and Savior Google.
The algorithm. Oh, the almighty algorithm.
Algae Rhythm. I loved him in Space Jam too.
You're the only one.
Hey, it's Don Cheadle.
Yeah, I love Don Cheadle. Just didn't like that movie. Anyways, make sure you follow me at Robert Adams MLP, Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd. Also, my YouTube channel, which I guess the link in the description is broken. Garth posted the actual link in the chat, so scroll up in the chat. It's somewhere over there. Go find it, click on it, go subscribe, and follow me over there tomorrow night. Play some Nintendo games and talk about how YouTube works, because apparently there's a lot of people that need to know how YouTube works. So they correct themselves when they're talking about YouTube in public on the internet, and they don't look weird or foolish. No real reason. Just
I have no idea what you're talking about. You can follow me at Chris Adams MLP on Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd, as well as twitch.tv/Chris Adams MLP, where I'm also streaming and playing games and having a whole lot of fun. That's where the crap is it? Oh, there it is. That's
we both clicked on it at the same time.
That's Stop it. That's twitch.tv/Chris Adams MLP. I'm going to be playing some Jackbox again this Sunday, so you're going to want to come hang out and join the community games over there. It's a lot of fun, I swear. If you haven't come hung out, if you haven't hanged out yet on Twitch with me, you need to come by. I know a lot of people sometimes see Twitch and they're like, "Oh, I don't understand how Twitch works." It works like every other live stream video with a chat.
So come hung out with us on Sunday night.
So come hung out with us. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Anyways, that's going to do it for tonight. Thank everyone who's been watching here in the chat. Thank y'all for being here. If you're watching this on a replay, let us know what you thought down below in the comments. Yeah, anyways, I'm Robert. That's Chris. This is Kevin Smith. We will see y'all later. Good night.
Pikachu.
Oh, yeah, Pikachu's right there, too. Anyways.